Welcome back to another video. Today we're watching another death battle video. It's going to be against Sauron versus, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Sauron versus Lich King, Lord of the Rings versus World of Warcraft. Now this one I'm going into complete blindness because I have no idea. I have no idea about none of these franchises really. I mean, I watched clips in here from Lord of the Rings, and I kind of know what World of Warcraft is, but I never played it. So, I see what they got going on. I should be surprised.
Job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Within the timeless halls, at the dawn of creation, the supreme god Eru and his angelic Ainur created all of existence through a single harmonious song.
But one of these angels just had to be a rebel. Melkor ruined that harmony, giving the world its many, many imperfections, like Wiz. Then after messing up God's hit single and going rogue, Melkor took up a new name just to be even more meddled. Morgoth.
Morgoth's power was impressive, daunting. Several Maiar, essentially lower-ranked angels, joined him in his frightening conquest of the world he had helped create.
And the greatest of these followers was one obsessed with destroying all life in the pursuit of bringing about complete order.
He used to be Myron, but under Morgoth's reign, he became the one and only Sauron.
As the big wig of Morgoth's forces, Sauron spent...
That's what his name is, Sauron? Okay. Dark Lord, Necromancer, Lord of Gifts, the all-seeing eye, the enemy. Okay.
Thousands of years bringing Middle-earth to its knees.
He's almost more a force of nature than anything else, able to create infernos, cause country-spanning earthquakes, and even absorb souls.
And because he's a weird angel spirit man, he can morph his body around his own soul however he wants, or just shed it like clothing and fight as a ghost.
He can morph far beyond that. He has appeared as something akin to both man and elf, attractive and devious. A werewolf, once thought to be the greatest wolf of all, and even a vampire.
Oh man, Tumblr's gonna go nuts with that.
Many of his greatest accomplishments are not due to
Let's say, this sound like goddamn not Elden Ring, shit, what's it called? It's on my head. It's like the Skyrim, there we go. It's like Skyrim.
his powerful magics and weaponry, but his inhuman cunning. Sauron is nothing less than a master of manipulation.
He's like if Loki and Satan did a fusion dance. He loves to trick someone with illusions, shadow magic, or just by toying with their sad, predictable, pathetic human emotions. Like when he convinced Saruman to join the evil side, who was basically a super wizard specifically meant to lead the charge against Sauron.
In some ways, Sauron is actually wiser than the master he served. In the most epic war to eclipse all other wars, humans, dwarves, elves, and more united to destroy Morgoth, casting what remained of Melkor into the void.
But Sauron saw it coming and bailed faster than me at a divorce hearing, just to show back up centuries later in the fiery pits of Mordor.
There, the Dark Lord created a plan to conquer everything. He fooled the elven smiths into forging 19 rings of power and planted them among the leaders of elven, man, and dwarven kind, all controlled by another ring he made in secret.
The one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Oh god, that's so epic. I think I'm into poetry now. Forged in the fires of Mount Doom using part of Sauron,
AKA the Ring of Power. Ishador's Bane contains parts of Sauron, if that's the name, essence. Sauron semen? That's not, well, that's what I think of when I hear essence, you know. Powers granted, domination over other rings of power, enhanced natural traits, enhanced perception, increased longevity, invincibility, mental domination, prophecy. The prophecy, nearly indestructible.
Sauron's own soul. The One Ring amplified his power and let him control the minds and actions of the other ring bearers.
The 9 kings of men were especially vulnerable and saw themselves reduced to twisted wraiths bent to Sauron's whims.
It wasn't any better for the less kingly humans, so much so that Sauron mind-controlled most of Numenor. We're talking about an island nation that could have had as many as 18 million people, and Sauron had them all at his creepy, pokey fingertips.
This led to retaliation from Eru, who had hardly directly intervened ever before, even against Morgoth. Eru sank Numenor, while Sauron was still on it. But the Dark Lord spirit persevered, indestructible even against the wrath of God.
Sauron used the ring to build himself a new body. It may have cost a lot of power, but he took a biblical event to the face and went right back on to being evil.
And yet, putting so much power into one object did have drawbacks.
Which hit back hard when Isildur subtracted a digit from his hand.
The Warrior King did more than just cut off a finger. He took the ring and its power for himself. This act forced Sauron to retreat as a disembodied spirit, threatened by his own power in the hands of another. And should the One Ring be destroyed completely, Sauron's spirit could be rendered impotent beyond repair. It isn't all bad, though. The ring can turn you invisible, create visions of impending doom, and has one hell of a defense mechanism.
Yeah, who'd want to destroy it when it makes you want it? It has a will of its own, with promises whispered even the best of us can't refuse. The greatest poultry dinner ever, Boomstick. Bourbon, pecan, parmesan, turducken. It's so precious.
What did you just do?
What? It sounded delicious. Well, ring or no ring, Sauron's a beast. He's swatted away armies of soldiers, interrupted Mount Doom through sheer willpower. He has total control over his own being and can modify his soul at will, so he can definitely resist.
If you got teleportation, why you need flight and levitation? Just teleport. Weather manipulation. Where's G.I. Joe?
Someone like spooky ghost Celebrimbor trying to dominate a spirit.
And being among the strongest Maiar, the peak of Sauron's power is beyond that of Osei, a lesser Maya, which is specifically important because Osei single-handedly raised the island of Numenor.
Yeah, remember that island that got Noah'd? That place. No wonder everyone wants his ring. Who could turn down that much power?
Not Isildur. The hearts of men are easily corrupted, and he kept the ring rather than destroy it. But in the end, the ring destroyed him and waited for its master's return.
Sauron was rebuilding Mordor into a world-conquering force. And after a little bit of good old-fashioned torture, he found out the ring was in the Shire. The chillest, coziest, dopest place imaginable. Ah, man, when I retire, I'm gonna go live in a hobbit hole and just get lit 24/7.
And so began the War of the Ring. Sauron's forces covered the land, seeking both the ring and the downfall of man, always shadowed by the symbol of his ever-present influence, the Eye of Sauron.
It was a slaughterfest. Middle-earth stood no chance. Everybody basically accepted death by orcs as inevitable. It was hopeless. The kingdoms of men would finally fall for good.
Save for the Dark
until Goku came and saved them all.
Lord's truest weakness. Sauron's cunning and stratagems were impressive, sure, but ultimately, he never truly understood the people of Middle-earth. In his mind, absolute power was factually irresistible. He never imagined a mere mortal could ever, or would ever, seek to actually destroy the One Ring.
Against all odds and a whole lot of walking, Sauron was defeated. Not by the sparkly new king or the armies of Middle-earth, but by the most unlikely creature imaginable, Elijah Wood.
Yet, even as a formless shadow, Sauron's legacy remains one of domination, treachery, and most of all, fear. Fitting for the being that represents, and I quote, as near an approach to the wholly evil will as is possible.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Bespoke Post.
Gear up for fall with Bespoke Post and their new seasonal lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections.
Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging
and it's asunder, all to escape the fury of the Demon Lord Kil'jaeden.
But when Ner'zhul waltzed through the portal, Kil'jaeden was right there waiting for him.
Ner'zhul was forced to serve Kil'jaeden's will to ravage another world, Azeroth. Thus, he was transformed into the first Lich King.
This Lord of the Dead was sent to the continent of Northrend, but Kil'jaeden had one more twist for poor Zul. His body was gone, leaving just his spirit.
Just looking at this remind me of South Park. That's pretty much all I learned about World of Warcraft was from South Park.
Which was bound to a set of armor sealed within a prison of magical ice. Man, this guy can't catch a break. Armor looks sick, though. He's gonna possess me if I put that on, huh?
From his frozen prison, the Lich King would begin his conquest, conjuring an unstoppable plague of undeath. Soon, this would threaten the lives of the kingdom of Lordaeron.
Okay, so that was a lot, but here's where our main guy finally shows up. Lordaeron's crown prince and holy knight, Arthas Menethil. Yeah, his name does kind of sound like something your doctor would give you for fungus, but hey, no. Arthas was a badass. At 19 years old, he was considered one of the best swordsmen.
Scourge Lord, King of the Damned, 29 years old. Death Knight, former human paladin, killed his own father. Interned at Blizzard in 2017.
In the world, and had mastered nearly every weapon he could.
Even with such a skilled warrior as its prince, Lordaeron was already severely pressured by a war with an orcish horde, so a zombie plague was the last thing Arthas needed. Compounding this even further, Ner'zhul managed to break free of Kil'jaeden's power and turned his attention toward creating a champion to lead his ever-growing scourge. Naturally, he chose Arthas,
who was a stressed-out mess, to the point where he tried to stop the plague by killing everyone in his own city. Holy shit! Yeah, he was totally losing it, so hearing a creepy voice in his head really didn't help.
Long story short, in his efforts to protect his realm, Arthas discovered a rune blade and took it for himself. This was the fearsome Frostmourne.
Surprise! It's the source of the Lich King's power. He was stealing souls and storing them within the blade. With this new ice-cold cleaver in hand, Arthas lost his soul and got a Death Knight makeover.
And so the former hero of light would lead the very scourge he previously fought.
And in time, Arthas would don the armor for himself, giving the Lich King a new, ultimate power. Walking!
Remember, everything the Lich King had done up until this point had been from his prison within a literal block of ice.
And this new Sauronite armor, Saronite armor, is the best. Like, what was it doing stuck in ice all this time when it's made of old god blood and self-repairs? Screw you, blacksmith! You're never taking my hard-earned gold!
That's what's up, it's self-repairs. Put that on a car, crashing into everything. Don't matter, it's self-heal. It's a cheat code.
I'll never have to get naked and die again!
By donning this dark helm, Ner'zhul and Arthas fused to become one, a being far more powerful than either had been before.
Resistant to magic, reflects holy and light magic. Dang.
He could effortlessly cover cities in ice storms, murder hundreds with the power of shadow, and learn all of your secrets with the Eye of Acheris.
Azeroth's fate was sealed. Everyone was doomed.
See this guy? He's ill.
Ooh, this might be a hard matchup to predict. I want to say maybe Sauron got this, but you know me. I'm saying Sauron. That means the Lich King more likely gonna win this death battle.
Illidan, a 15,000-year-old demon hunter with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. As a Death Knight, Arthas could take him down, even after fighting through a massive army to get to him. Against this new Lich King, Illidan never stood a chance.
This is important because Illidan had absorbed the power of Gul'dan, an orc warlock who, alongside his followers, raised the Broken Isles out of the sea, a massively powerful feat of magic.
The fact that Arthas, a mortal guy, beat him up is a big deal. Just imagine how kick-ass he'd be in full control of the undying Lich King powers. Oh wait, we don't have to.
Ner'zhul may have pulled Arthas' strings up until this point, but he...
Archerish reveal secrets, summoning goals, flight and levitation, ice magic and manipulation, immortality, mind and soul manipulation, necromancy and undead summons, plague of undead, shadow magic, teleportation, weather manipulation. So yeah, these two are pretty much closely to the same. So I think Showdown was more of like fire. So it's like Scorpion versus Sub-Zero.
He had made a drastic miscalculation. Within the mind of the Lich King, Arthas battled Ner'zhul for control and won. The power of Frostmourne, of the Scourge, of Undeath itself was now
Ice Spear. Summon Dread Ghouls. Remorseless Winter. Cause a huge winter storm. An infection that spreads. Deals massive damage and disable resurrection. That'd probably be good for Showdown, maybe? I guess you can use that on. Shadow Trap, maybe you can use Shadow Trap too.
now under the command of Arthas.
And by this point, he was just done. Like, with everything. We've all had one of those days, right? Where you see all of humanity is so pathetic they can only be saved by just killing them all, so you rip out your own heart. Yeah, relatable.
Determined to end all life, Arthas led his scourge across Azeroth, spreading the plague to every corner of the world. He slaughtered every contender in his path, including legendary champions like this hero of the Horde, Dranosh Sarfang.
Who the Lich King bitch slapped to death in one hit, then zombified to serve him instead. Man, that didn't go well.
The Lich King seemed unstoppable.
Only one thing could take him down. A 25-man raid team of the best nerds World of Warcraft servers had to offer. And that one guy who was just there because he was friends with somebody, but damn, he sucked.
With these...
And don't forget Leroy Jenkins. They need Leroy Jenkins, man.
Heroes triumphant, the Paladin Tyrion shattered Frostmourne with an equally legendary blade, ending the Lich King's vile reign.
But the Scourge doesn't work on Phantom Menace battle droid rules, so there must always be a Lich King to keep the relentless undead in check.
Yet no Lich King before or since ever matched the terror and malice Arthas brought to Azeroth.
Without a doubt, one of the most terrifying kings to ever conquer the world of Warcraft.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Shady Rays.
Are you
Let's get
battle?
into it. Let's get into it. Come on, Sharon. Sharon? I'm saying Sharon. Sharon.
I shall claim what is mine. In this cold north,
I like the animation they choose to go with for this one.
death.
It's giving me Soul Calibur vibes. I thought the Ice Spear would be more powerful than that. You know, like the Felling God Fire Spear. I mean, you know, from Elder Ring, that little big ball of fire that just flow and then explode. I thought it was gonna be something like that. That little ass frozen raindrop shit. What's that gonna do?
I'll tear out your heart. You will find nothing. Your
game lagging. You see this? It's lagging. Uh-oh. I downed him. 25 HP. 25 HP. You got a status spec. Status spec. Status spec.
You serve me now. I serve no one. Witness the prophecy of your doom. You speak nothing but lies.
Uh-oh. Can I be right for a change? Come on. Sharon, come on, Sharon.
In the void. Only
Come on. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm right. Yes. I finally got one. Put on screen.
KO! Well, if he wasn't all powerful before, look out for supercharged
I got like
Sauron
10
now.
Despite the Lich King's impressive power, Sauron's might was absolute.
But not before he got the duel of his life in a crazy close bout. First up, both Dark Lords could counter pretty much any mind or soul-screwing powers, making a lot of their usual tricks way less noteworthy in this match.
To be fair, the Lich King severely debilitated Sauron via his plague of undeath. Most physical bodies would not survive such a disease.
So Sauron just got rid of his body. Who needs it? Especially when you can rebuild one or just start fighting as a ghost. Both things Sauron could do.
After all, the plague is intended for organic mortal enemies and has never infected.
Damn. I hope y'all don't hear my cat. She in heat. Can fight in physical and spiritual form, yep. Less oblivious weakness, more powerful, resistant to mental and soul attacks. Superior generation. Helmet could block mental and soul attacks. Far less experience, less powerful. Okay, but I'm glad I got that right. If you like the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. See you guys later. Deuces.